Conductor, we have a problem. Now I have news about my CD player. Conductor.
We're about to go in 3, 2, 1.
It's simple.
Yeah. I'm about to Google this motherfucking canon real quick while we record too. Real simple. Yo, what's happening? It is I, the Most High, Chris. I'm with my tag team partner, Chidi, a.k.a.
Chidi
Bang. What's happening?
What's happening? We are the Underground of Professional Wrestling Podcast. If you don't know, now you know. And we're here to talk some wrestling. But before we get into the shits, thank you to our Patreons for patroning. We have some out there. Yeah, thank you to you guys, Patreon. Thank you to our subscribers on YouTube for listening and watching us here on the lives and checking out our content. Thank you to SoundCloud for being there. Be there for day Spotify and SoundCloud for being there for day ones. And listening to the pod on there. So check us out everywhere. If you tune into our social medias or Medias and Socialists, RW Podcast 1 Twitter, Reasonable Wrestling Podcast on IG, Reasonable Wrestling Podcast on Facebook. And yeah, with that being said, where do you want to start?
What type of introduction to the show is that, my nigga? What's happening, yo? We, I guess we already said we was gonna start out. We was gonna talk about fucking, we're a week removed from SummerSlam, but that wasn't the biggest thing that happened over the wrestling week. CM Punk came back last Friday. Very exciting, very emotional, very fucking, it was a big moment for AEW. Very, very big moment.
CM Punk's back. They see CM Punk back in wrestling. Whether you like him or not, CM Punk is a huge name. We talked about this already. If you see us on IG Live, we've talked about it. We talked about it on our Zoom cipher. Shout out to Rich. Check us out on Patreon if you want to link up with us on Zoom and watch pay-per-view lives with us. But CM Punk being back is great. I think the moment itself is one of the best moments we've had in the past, I don't know, man, a couple of years of seeing him come out to the fans, being embraced by his fanatics, and like when I look at him and Edge and I see their reactions, and when they talk about wrestling and that energy being like a drug, it looks like they are taking a huge hit after a long hiatus of being, sober, completely sober, and I'm glad that they're back to, work their craft. Now, what this means for AEW and CM Punk's return, it means that they're a player right now. They're a player long term. I said this before. CM Punk is a huge get. He probably was the biggest free agent in wrestling for the past 7 years, and it's not something we can just like pass by as if, it's just a debut. CM Punk coming back is a big deal.
Well, they treated it like, it's just a debut if you watch their fucking product since CM Punk got there. Now, I'm not here to be the shitter of shitting, alright? But CM Punk is a very big fucking deal. They did not capitalize on their past two shows. They did not. When he showed up Friday, it put the pressure on SummerSlam and TakeOver to really do something that was memorable. Now, we'll get into SummerSlam as far as why they were memorable. But AEW on the build was like, okay, this is Punk's first ever on Dynamite. And Dynamite this past Wednesday did not hit at all. Like, it did not give me anything right? So when you say it's a big get, did I expect him to wrestle on Dynamite? No. Did I expect them to capitalize, like you say, on that hotness?
Okay, what would you determine capitalizing on hotness being?
Okay, let's look at AEW and what happened on Dynamite. And you know I don't really remember a lot of shit well, but it's a Kenny Omega and Christian Cage fucking promo.
Uh-huh.
It was a fucking
Sweater?
it was a Kenny Omega Christian Cage promo. It was a fucking Matt Hardy and Orange Cassidy match that nobody really ever asked for.
The fans seem to love it.
I mean, why wouldn't they?
Listen, I'm gonna say this right now.
Okay, go ahead.
CM Punk being back is huge. And what they do right now really doesn't matter because it's CM Punk. He can just walk out there and people are going to go crazy. Capitalizing on it enough is him coming back and cutting that promo on Darby Allin. I think that's fine in itself because CM Punk cutting a promo is what he does best. The fans are ready to see it. They're already sold on the match for All Out. You don't need an angle or anything. You can just throw them out there. You know, when it comes down to it, here's what I'm going to say to AEW. Congratulations, because you guys are doing great business. I'm going to put that first and foremost. You guys are doing great business, bringing in some great talent. You're still showcasing your talent that got over, you know, over the past couple of years. And you know, I see you guys progressing in a fast pace to just be a mainstay in the wrestling industry for years, not just like a couple of 5 years. I think it could be like 20 years, 30 years. I think that there's no ending AEW. But here's where I say that they can miss, you know, book, you know, right now with CM Punk. They have a window right now of capturing the interest of wrestling fans like you, who were brought back to wrestling kind of by CM Punk back when he dropped that pipe bomb, right?
Correct.
So you are a CM Punk. He captures your attention.
Correct.
You know, you're a fan. Where they go from now is going to be contingent on how they best utilize CM Punk. And he kind of like hinted at, he's like, I know this is going to wear off over some time, but he's going to enjoy it for now. He said that on Rampage last night. And the fact of the matter is, we AEW fans might love CM Punk, but the fact of the matter is there will be a new star next year or the year after, you know, and yes, there will be a time where it's not going to be as new for CM Punk. So, him and Darby Allin right now, I don't think there's been any miss. I don't think there's, yes, I know that you said you would have booked him with somebody else, like a Moxley, but Moxley, or, you know, or you would have booked him with, someone, you said somebody else, you said it wouldn't be Darby, right?
I wouldn't have made it Darby. If Punk coming in, I would have had Punk and MJF.
MJF, excuse me. MJF.
Punk and MJF, and that's another thing. MJF and Jericho, like, man, I can't do it anymore. I can't.
I was shocked
do
to
it
see
anymore.
that they're doing it again.
Bro, like that fifth labor should have been that. It should have been that.
They should have just saved that fifth labor for All Out.
Oh my gosh, right.
You know?
Right.
That's what I thought they were doing initially. I'm like, alright, we're going to fifth labor at All Out. And they could have built Chris Jericho to this point saying, oh my, I've conquered all four of these labors. The fifth one, I'm willing to put my career on the line. You know? And that would have been perfect. But now we just got MJF versus Jericho. And then you're doubling back on it. Hey, you're filling up your all-out card. I get it. So I hear you on that. And I would have had MJF interrupt CM Punk's promo. I think that would have garnered a lot of heat. But I get it. CM Punk's moment. They want to just give that to him. Great. Just get, you know, some free time out there. If they interrupted with CM Punk interrupting if MJF interrupted CM Punk, that would have just garnered so much heat. I think that it would have been perfect. But anyways,
because my thing is, listen, Darby can't. Why would Darby lose to CM Punk? And why would CM Punk come back and lose? Right? So like we talk about booking all the time and making sense and things like that. Like I said, I'm not being a negative Nancy. I'm just saying, do it make sense? It does not make sense. And I know Darby Allin is a guy that Punk would like to put over because you know, the drug-free era, and they just don't care, and they make, like, I get all that. But CM Punk hitting to go to sleep on Darby Allin, it may be a good thing for Darby Allin to be in the ring with CM Punk, but it does not do, right? He's like on a 9-10 match win streak. Doesn't really necessarily matter, because I don't know what the fuck wins and losses mean over there anyway. But at the same time, he's in a position where he's strong. He's one of the strongest baby faces on the roster. Mm-hmm. He's the strongest babyface on the roster that's not in the heavyweight contention. And I don't think they have a heavyweight that is a babyface that's over as fucking Darby. And then Moxley is the biggest babyface in the heavyweight division. All he wants to do is fight Japanese niggas. So like, I don't really understand. Like, I get the freedom and like, they're able to put, you know, the spotlight on other people and stuff like that. But my whole point is this, like, the capitalization of CM Punk, you had one chance to get it right. They did not.
I can't say that they did not. I mean, for you, maybe you think that it could have been done better.
The match with Darby Allin, I know we're excited to watch, but I'm just saying, okay, but the outcome of the match, it matters. Okay, hold on. Okay, we know the outcome of matches matter. We're going to get into it in SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Do outcomes of matches matter?
Not for CM Punk. He said he wants to work with young talent. CM Punk probably handpicked Darby Allin and was like, yo, I want to work with this kid first. And they're like, all right, let me go ahead and give you that match. Now, does it matter of who wins and whatnot? Win, lose, or draw, Darby is gonna be high in the rankings. They do the ranking thing. He can lose. CM Punk can win. CM Punk can lose, and it's gonna work out no matter what. You know, it's all booking. Now, if you're talking about results mattering, yes, they do. But this is a rare occasion where I believe that the fans are more interested in the spectacle than of who's gonna come out on top. We don't know, and that's the good thing about it, is that we generally don't know. So I can't say that the booking was bad in any way. Should I know who's gonna win? I mean, by whoever they put MJF with. Like, I mean, so it was MJF, CM Punk. They can both take a loss, or
yes, MJF of course is able to take a loss if he goes up there. It's expected. It's expected for MJF to.
That's the thing. Should we have matches in wrestling that we as fans expect the outcome? And I think we get lost in that sometimes, where we're like, oh, why did you book this match? We don't know who's gonna win.
Hold on, keep that same energy for fucking. Keep that same energy.
No,
keep that same energy. Keep that same energy because fuck it. It's our podcast. We can go wherever we want because we know what we're gonna do. Listen, nigga. Outcomes of matches and how the matches happen absolutely matter, nigga.
I just said it did. I said it did. I said it's rare occasions where the spectacle, you just want to see the match. John Cena, Roman Reigns, I think the outcome matters. But Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, I don't know who's going to win, and I'm fine with it. Like, I'm going to be honest, I'm fine with it. You know, like, so what you want, I know what you're alluding at. You're alluding at Bianca. And yes, the way the shit happens matters. Bianca Belair losing that match in 26 seconds after the reign she had, after creating history at WrestleMania, after completely, you know, holding the division on her back after everybody disappeared on SmackDown. Bayley got injured. Sasha was gone. There is no Becky. Becky's pregnant. She held SmackDown on her back for some time now. She's proven that she's a star. You know, she went out on SmackDown and just had a great match, fatal 4-way, and they're saying this is awesome with her and Liv Morgan, bro. Sasha, I mean, Bianca's that woman. I know that. You know, that's gimmick infringement, but she's that woman in the industry right now. I'm sorry, she is. Becky has her fans, but Bianca it's her time. You know, when you win an ESPY and create history, you don't job them out like that, you know, in SummerSlam in the matter of seconds. Okay, the difference between that and Darby Allin and CM Punk is that there's going to be an actual match. Oh, okay. If they jobbed out CM Punk in 26 seconds, I'll be upset too.
Okay, so my thing is this. When we talk about AEW and the landscape of AEW, and I say, are they too big for their, not too big for their britches because it's wrestling, but like, are they able to manage everything that they're trying to do? It's right, and the reason why I'm saying this is because, again, I'm hot on AEW. I see what they did on Rampage. It was actually a good fucking show on Rampage. Also, we talking about squash matches. Kiera Hogan deserved better against fucking Jade. Even though you're good at Jade. Hold up.
She doesn't though.
Okay, but
I love Kiera Hogan.
Hold on.
She doesn't.
Okay.
If you're not signed to the company,
so
and you could get signed as enhancement talent just because we know you. You're still enhancement
but
talent.
even with that though, what the fuck they doing with Jade? That's my continuation to it.
Okay.
Because you have a squash match with Jade. She runs through fucking Kiera Hogan, and she's already beat Red Velvet previously. You know what I mean? Like I told you, if you gave me Chris Statlander and fucking Britt Baker at All Out, I would be checked out. And I mean that because. Again, I'm hot on AEW. Jade doesn't even appear on Wednesday. Jade doesn't even want the championship. Jade doesn't even present herself as being the bitch in line.
It's gonna come. It's definitely gonna come. They just clearly are like, we're not there yet. You know, I don't know what they got. I want to see more of Jade. Honestly, absolutely.
I think, but that goes back to my point of being like, not necessarily squandering the opportunity, but like you do only got one shot at this. You know what I mean? Because at any point in time,
I'll say this. Go ahead, finish this.
At any point in time, like you say, the next person can come in. They can grab another woman star with a lot more wrestling cachet, a lot more world presence, and that bumps Jade again.
I think Jade.
It does that on the men's side.
Here's what I'm gonna say about Jade. She has a lot of star potential, so I would put that belt on her. If they don't feel ready to cancel Britt Berg and what's going on in Britt's reign right now, and they want to keep her rolling because she's really hot right now, then I don't. And I'm not mad at it. I would have gotten it to the point where people want to see a Jade Cargill Britt match by now. I would have been booking this stuff for like months. But since we're not there yet, put Chris in the match and see how it goes, you know. But right now, it is Britt City right now. Britt is one of my favorite wrestlers. Really. She's one of my favorite wrestlers in AEW. And I don't want to see that. I mean, not that I don't want to see that match. I want to see that match. But the fact that we're not seeing it yet doesn't piss me off as much as it may piss you off. I'll be honest.
Well, I'm only saying that because, as you said, they're filling up the card for All Out. Don't fill up the card with things like, right? So, doesn't matter, right? I don't know the story of Chris Statlander, and they haven't really done a good job to tell the story of Chris Statlander and why she's a contender.
Well, she's just the rankings, pretty much. You know, just she's been winning.
And
matches.
that's how we get Orange Cassidy. Granted, he was pretty good in the match, diluting Kenny Omega and Pac. Because as much as AEW says they give us the matches that we want, that is the match that we want for the championship.
But here's the thing. I think there's some people in AEW, Orange Cassidy in particular, that you might see him like, oh, he's a good performer. Oh, it was a good match, and still be like, all right, I'm not into it. Now, granted, the gimmick with Orange Cassidy rubbed me the wrong way a couple years ago too when he first came out and started it, and now I get it. You know, I get it. Do I think it's going to be long lasting for years to come? I don't know. AEW fans are a little bit different. They pop for everything. So they pop for Delete still. You know, so the whole thing that Orange Cassidy got going on, I believe he has legs. I think the gimmick is kind of genius now. But what I'm worried about with AEW all in all is one, as a company, they got mad talent.
Yes.
But be careful about, one, hiring your friends just because they're friends. Because there's a lot of people that are in the industry that are going to come out of WWE and they're going to be good, and you're going to be your friends, but should you hire them just because they're your friends and you got room on your roster? Two, hiring old WWE talent, because guess what? Back then they didn't know you, now they're hot, they're all on you. When it comes down to it, a lot of people are going to come to AEW, like people came to the Jets, to just get it back. You know, I want you guys to hire people that are there to wrestle. You know, granted, we got Big Show, we got Mark Henry, Christian, we got CM Punk, great talent, guys who are legends. Be a little bit more cautious about bringing back old WWE acts and how to develop your acts at the same time. Those new talents you're bringing in, like homeboy from Flight Crew, Top Flight. What's his name? Dwayne Martin. Great young talent. Like, keep finding guys like that you can pipe through the AEW.
Lee Johnson came out to help. Came out to, Malik. But that's my point. That goes back to my thing too. Like, not necessarily squandering, but like, I'm not gonna hold you. I do not know who Lee Johnson is.
But that's not bad.
But that's not. It's not bad. But do I want to waste? Not waste. Do I want to? Malachi has not had a feud yet, right? The Cody shit happened, but that's not what niggas really wanted to fucking see, right? I don't know what we want to see with Malachi Black yet, but I don't know if I want to see it with Lee Johnson, and that's because I have no attachment to the Nightmare Factory.
Yeah, I have no attachment to that.
So you know what I mean. So now again, they're making stories about shit that niggas don't care about. The labor of Jericho, that nobody really cares about.
But here's what I would say: every wrestling company makes stories on their card that you don't fucking care about. You may act like you do, but come on, did we really care about Nikki ASH? We didn't. I gave it some room because I'm like, maybe it's for a different audience. Do we really care about what they've been doing with certain people in NXT? If you really want to get down to it, the way sometimes I'm like, I get it. It's not for me. The Nightmare
But
Factory.
that's white people humor also too. You know what I mean? Like
that's not even a white thing. There's black people that love that shit too. But I do believe that it's really gonna be down to looking at it like a buffet and taking what you want from the company. If they're gonna give you Andrade Pac All Out and a CM Punk first match in 7 years, then you might not need a Chris Statlander and you might not need a Jay Cargill and Britt Baker in the match. You might be like, all right, I'll tune in for that, and I hope that they're going to give me that pack down the line. There's a lot of potential here, but be careful, AEW. I love what you're doing as a company, but be careful of just signing guys that have been left the other company, because you want to keep the morale up, because I think they do got a high morale backstage, and I think people really genuinely like working for them. And you want to keep the talent level high, and matches like, matches like, Matt Hardy and Orange Cassidy, when I turn on the TV and I see Matt, I don't necessarily get like, hey, I'm here for the show, because I'm not a huge Matt Hardy fan, but people are, some people still love that. I don't like seeing Dustin have the main event with the young talent. Nick Camarado. Yeah. I don't like seeing him take the victory over a young talent like Nick Camarado. These are little things that I see in the company where I'm like, that doesn't completely fly with the longevity of what I'm coming to see personally. But I always know that within wrestling there will be legacy acts. This happened since the dawn of time wrestling. Bob Backlund was WWE champion in the 90s and in the 70s. So when you look at it like that, wrestling's always going to be that. It's never going to change. But be careful and have some discernment on who you bring in. Because I'm not necessarily interested in seeing a Big Show versus QT Marshall match either. I'm not. I don't. Paul White. I'm not necessarily all in seeing that match. But you got me with CM Punk. You got me with Andrade Pac. And you got me with that's pretty much it.
But is that enough?
I like 3 things on a show to say that I'm taking something away from it, and it's only enough because one of them is huge, and that's CM Punk. Am I buying the pay-per-view? If I was in a position to buy it, which right now I'm just not thinking about buying any pay-per-views, I would definitely, as a fan, buy it. I might just stay tuned with it, stream it this time around. But for all you guys that are fans and want to go watch it and want to see CM Punk's debut match, support them. If you really, they're a company who brought back a guy who everybody's been chanting for freaking eons, and he's here. Pay for a pay-per-view, pay for it, and see the debut you guys been asking for. There you go. It's here, take it. And he's with Darby, so I believe it's gonna be an ill match. It could be a classic, and shout out to AEW for just moving the needle again. And they keep finding a way to do it.